Science has provided incredible leaps forward in technology and understanding over the years, allowed humankind to advance as a species, cure disease, travel off-world, and improve quality of life. There have been times, however, where in the pursuit of knowledge, science has either overstepped its bounds morally, or simply involved itself in some very strange or misguided endeavors. In this video, we take a look at our top 5 darkest science experiments. Let's begin. Number 5. The Philadelphia Experiment. The Philadelphia Experiment, as it has come to be known, was a 1940s study and trial revolving around the possibility of cloaking a naval vessel from enemy radar using electromagnetic fields. The cloaking was to be accomplished by generating massive amounts of electromagnetic energy around the ship, as the theory was that radar and other detection signals would be absorbed or move around the field. As the electromagnetic field increased in strength, it increased its expected radius to around 100 yards, and within this field, the ship became blurred to normal vision, and a greenish haze formed around the vessel. This effect continued to increase in severity until, to the amazement of the observers, the entire ship vanished from view. The ship had not just vanished though, it is said to have been instantly transported several hundred miles from Philadelphia to Virginia. After a few minutes, the ship once again vanished and reappeared in its original location. For the crew, however, the event had been a terrifying and damaging experience. The events had drastic effects on the crew members, and supposedly, during the experiment, crew members found that they could walk through solid objects, and when the field was shut off, men were found embedded inside the structure of the ship itself. The results were gruesome enough that some men are said to have lost their minds, and alleged after effects among the crew members ranged from men having their movements slowed down as though they were frozen in time, simply disappearing, spontaneous human combustion, and the continued ability to walk through solid objects. Number 4. The Monster Study. In 1939, Wendell Johnson, University of Iowa speech pathologist, and his grad student Mary Tudor conducted stuttering experiments on 22 non-stuttering orphan children. The children were split into 2 groups. One group was given positive speech therapy, praising them for their fluent speech. The unfortunate other group was given negative therapy, harshly criticizing them for any flaw in their speech abilities, labeling them as stutterers. The result of this cruel experiment was that the children in the negative group, while not transforming into full-fledged stutterers, suffered negative psychological effects, and several suffered from speech problems for the rest of their lives. Formerly normal children came out of the experiment, dubbed the Monster Study, anxious, withdrawn, and silent. Several, as adults, eventually sued the University of Iowa, which settled the case in 2007. Number 3. Project MKULTRA. In the 1950s, the US government started Project MKULTRA, an operation that experimented on humans to see if it could cause specific human behavior. Starting out with the goal of developing mind-controlling drugs and procedures that would enable military and CIA personnel to extract information from resistant Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean soldiers. The experiment grew even more sinister as it started experimenting with various techniques including, but not limited to, sensory deprivation, isolation, sexual abuse, and torture. The exact details of these experiments have been lost to time, as many of the records were destroyed in the 1970s, but it is known that more than 150 of these types of experiments were carried out in the 20 years of the project's existence. Number 2. The Stanford Prisoner Experiment. In 1971, a professor at Stanford University in the United States conducted one of the most famous and twisted psychological experiments of modern times. Funded by the US Office of Naval Research, Philip Zimbardo was examining the psychological effects of becoming a prisoner or a guard in order to better understand the reasons that conflicts occur between military guards and prisoners. In this experiment, 24 college males were randomly broken up into 2 groups, where half of them were asked to play prisoners and the other half were asked to play guards in a mock prison. There were no rules to the experiment other than the guards being told that they were not able to touch the prisoners. Almost immediately, the guards started to subject the prisoners to psychological torture and harass anyone who tried to stand up for themselves. Several students had to quit the experiment early, and the entire study was scrapped after 6 days, as Zimbardo noticed that many guards were exhibiting sadistic tendencies, and that the prisoners were becoming emotionally traumatized, and that he himself was becoming grossly absorbed in his role as the officiator of the experiment. Number 1. The Fearless SM. A woman with bilateral damage relatively restricted to the amygdala is the subject of a case study recently reported. SM, as she would be known to the public, seems able to experience emotions such as happiness and sadness normally, but shows no signs of fear. Trials and studies conducted with SM were enacted with hopes of a glimpse into possible directions for research to take, such as non-invasively controlling the amygdala to reduce fear in PTSD sufferers. To explore this role of the amygdala, the University of Iowa team observed and recorded SM's responses in a variety of situations that would make most people feel fear. They exposed her to snakes and spiders, took her to one of the world's scariest haunted houses, and had her watch a series of horror films. They also had her fill out questionnaires probing different aspects of fear, from the fear of death to the fear of public speaking. On top of that, SM faithfully recorded her emotions at various times throughout the day whilst carrying an electronic diary over a 3-month period. Across all questionnaires, measures, and scenarios, SM failed to experience fear. The research team's leader said he was most surprised at what happened when SM was presented with snakes and spiders in an exotic pet store, stating, "For many years, SM had been telling us that she hates snakes and spiders and tries to avoid them. Going into the experiment, everyone, including myself, thought SM would stay away from these animals. Yet to our surprise, she immediately started touching them. When asked why she was touching something that she claims to hate, she appeared perplexed by her own behavior and stated that she was overcome with curiosity. It was as if the part of her brain responsible for SM's cognition and thoughts were completely disconnected from the part of the brain controlling her behavior. SM has encountered numerous traumatic events which have threatened her very existence, and by her report have caused no fear. Yet she is still able to feel other emotions such as happiness and sadness. Taken together, these findings suggest that the human amygdala is a pivotal area of the brain for triggering a state of fear." So there you have it, that was our top 5 list of dark science experiments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check back again for another top 5 darkest video. Until next time.